We're back with another segment, and this time with Marcus. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you too.
You just gave a presentation on stage. Today is the first day of the conference. We're talking about hyper-resilience with cybersecurity, and you spoke specifically about digital sovereignty and the critical aspects regarding that practice. Give us a quick brief about the topic before I get into the questions.
All right, so talking about cyber sovereignty means talking about how you protect your critical infrastructure in order to guarantee your sovereignty, mainly your digital sovereignty, which means that all your infrastructures need to be used only and only for your interests, not for an outsider or an insider that is a malicious person.
And having said that, we're at a point now where the digital front is developing on such a fast pace. Collaborations and partnerships are all required on some level, but that also comes with a risk, right? So where's the balance point between that?
Yes, that's a very good question, because the world has changed so fast that everyone, every organization, every country, they want to move fast. That requires collaboration, that requires to adopt new technology faster, but with that comes a risk. So for me, the balance is you have to be extremely responsible with everything that you adopt, mainly when you are talking about critical infrastructure. Sometimes this will slow down the process, but at the end, because of the impact that the disruption in the critical infrastructure can cause, that's really necessary. So we can play here. We need to be extremely careful about how we implement new technologies, because the impact is so big that it doesn't allow us to be not be careful about how to manage it.
And to create this balance, what's the role of rules, the regulations? What's the role of the government in making sure that these collaborations can take place, but with the balance and the safety that you mentioned?
So that's a very good question, because companies usually are focused on profits, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the government has a very important point, because critical regulations, like you have here, SAMA or industrial controls regulations, demand what is the minimum required for a company to deploy new technologies. That helps the market to do their homework. Also requires the vendors to prepare their technology to be ready to support local regulations. And at the end, this guarantees that not the companies are better protected, but also the society and the countries. And how now we live in a global system where all the systems are connected. When you protect critical infrastructure, at the end, you are not protecting only the company, but also the society and the country, and even sometimes the whole world.
From your perspective, and even from your company, what is the best strategy that you can implement in any organization to increase their level of resilience?
Right. I think what we have seen all around the world, and we have been acting in this critical infrastructure all over the world with different verticals like energy, transportation, water, everything, is that the company that really have the best resilience are the company that have very clear policies, company that have clear process applied, and they are really rigorous about what happens when you don't follow the policies. So having a plan, follow it closely, and enforcing it is the key for achieving the better resilience.
What do you forecast will happen in the next 12 months? Whether it's in terms of developments in creating more security or potential threats that might occur?
Well, we are going through a kind of cat-hat run, right? So it's a cat-and-hat game. It's very difficult to forecast anything in this digital transformation world. So everything has changed so fast. But it's clear that more and more the cybercrime, the threat actors, they are investing more and more to have more power in order to disrupt the organizations in countries. At the same time, we as defenders or blue teams, we need to prepare more and more. So we need to be aware that our threat actors, they are getting prepared more and more, and we need to prepare ourselves too. So it is not easy, it's very hard, but I think that being aware of it, it's what is necessary in order to deliver a good result to protect your organizations.
My last question for you is, I'm sure you guys deal with a lot of organizations that are your clients. When you consult them and you give them consultancy services, what are the key consultancy points or suggestions that you might give them to keep their space more secure?
Right, I think the first thing is to be aware how cybersecurity is important. And today we still see a lot of organizations, they are running to innovate, they are running to accelerate the business, but they are not completely aware of the impact of cybersecurity. So sometimes they skip some steps that they should do, right? So I think first point is to be aware of how cybersecurity is critical, and sometimes running
the magnitude
before,
of the risk.
Yes, magnitude of the risk. And second is that invest in training policies. So the companies that have done best in the market in terms of cyber resilience are the companies that have been investing in people and policies, have very clear procedures. And that's not something that you just can buy it and deploy it immediately. It takes time. So we need to understand what is it, you need to deploy it, we need to train your people, and to keep repeating and repeating and repeating until the organization gets mature. So I think that's two good advices.
And I love how you emphasize so much on training and involving the human capital element in training, not only on the digital front, but also the organizations and who work there. Thank you so much for your time.
Right.
And thank you for the presentation you gave us on stage.
Thank you very much.
We hope to see you next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.